rolling in and charging into the fray from Rhinodash with no real regard to his own personal safety. It is RIN01 Rhinodash with a kit of Pile, double guard 500, wield legs, and the leg ability of Adversity, which grants a buff to all of his leg stats for every negative ailment applied to self. Now, compared to his predecessor Rhinorush, who very honestly was very poorly graded for his lack of overall viability and his overall just very poor stats and very poor kit build as a whole, Rhinodash unfortunately does not carry too well or really deviate too much from that norm, but in terms of packing the heavy armor, he certainly does not disappoint, however. Head, of course, with Pile is a conventional melee skill that is honestly the higher desirable of most conventional melee skills. As simply put, it has innate pierce damage no matter of the part rank, and also ignores a percentage of defense when attacking for a little bit more of an extra oomph when attacking opponents from up close and personal using this particular attack. Guard 500 more or less are just your standard guard and defense-based skills, which, however, with a little bit of an extra twist where they will negate 500 damage of the incoming attack off the top. Now, of course, this also does come with resistance tied in after reducing damage, but overall, compared of the basic guard skills, which is guard 300, guard 500, this one probably is probably going to be the better one to use if you're going to use any of the basic guards at all. Completely disregarding heavy limit in this case, naturally, since shields about 50% of the time will indeed be heavy parts. Now, one thing that does actually come to Rhinodash's advantage, however, is the fact that he is using wield legs, which means he is going to have that very naturally high mobility, as you see here at 928 actually, which is very, very good, even among wield legs, with the leg ability of Adversity, which means for every negative ailment applied to him, his leg stats will go up, meaning that he is more resistant to attacks, he will be faster, and in the rare case, he may also be more likely to dodge attacks. However, that advantage also comes with its mirror disadvantage, and it's the fact that as a wield leg, he also is going to have very bad overall terrain matchups and really only have two terrains that he's going to be good on at best, and that's including Cyber, which everyone gets at S rank. Now, across the board, though, as mentioned, he is certainly not lacking in the armor department, though. Over 3,500 HP for the head, about 4,600 per arm, which are great for shields, honestly. Almost 4,000 HP for the legs, and honestly, compared to most other wield legs, even just kind of foregoing the bad terrain matchups for just a moment, his leg stats actually are really nice, to his credit. 1351 melee resist and 1255 shoot resist mean that on terrains that wield legs are good on, Rhinodash will absolutely be able to take a hit and keep on kicking without anything easily crippling him. Especially and even though an evade of 835 really isn't super great, it's definitely better than it could be for a wield leg, which means he will still have a chance to potentially guard, or graze, or even dodge attacks every here or there as he sees fit. And of course, with a heavy limit of 2, means that, again, on terrains that wield legs are good on, these are a very conventional and very solid leg that you can make use of, really without any major disadvantage when that need does come about. For these reasons, as a pure set score, I do have to rate him a pretty solid 5 out of 10, even though Rhinodash does have a lot of shortcomings, which honestly make him about as comparable as Rhinorush, his predecessor, is. Rhinodash kind of takes those a little bit to a point and kind of takes them in stride, and kind of makes it work to his own advantage, despite still being very clunky and very selective in how good he is, or if he's actually able to be useful at all. As mixed parts, on the other hand, I'm going to rate him just a little bit higher at about a 5.5 out of 10. In the rare instance where Pile or wield legs can be used, they are very solid to make use of, and you generally can't ever go wrong with using either, especially given the fact that Pile in this case on Rhinodash is non-heavy, meaning it can fit anywhere on any team very easily without needing to factor in heavy limit or factor in any particular rebalance across the team when using it. Of course, with the shield arms as well, even though basic guard 300, and guard 500 aren't something I would really encourage using often, Rhinodash, like I said, does kind of use this to his advantage, because he does have very high shoot and melee resist, which is a little rare on a model like him in particular, especially as a wield-legged model. But with the Guard 500, he is actually able to reduce damage a pretty fair amount if you do choose to use him, either as mixed parts or as a pure set.